Okay, everybody. Here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again. So, you might notice this plant. This might look somewhat familiar to you because it's one of the most common indoor plants there is. This used to be known as Areca lutescens, and I just got out of the water in Maui. I don't even have a shirt on me, so you just have to bear with it. Dypsis, well, no, it was Areca lutescens, and they changed the name, of course, because that's what they like to do. And now it's Dypsis lutescens. Now, when you find this plant at like Kmart or Walmart or Save Mart or any mart, you'll see it multi-planted in multiple plants per pot. And what that means is I tried to do this. I just got off of a boat. So, trying to do this in between waves of people here. They're gonna think I'm crazy, but that's all right. So anyway, usually this plant is planted multiple plants per pot, meaning like they just dump a whole bunch of seed into one pot, and then they let it all sprout up, and that creates this really beautiful sort of thicket of palm. However, even if you just plant one seed of this particular type of palm, you're going to get multiple clusters because it's a multi-trunking palm. Now, however, when you plant multiple seeds in the same spot, what ends up happening is you get sort of a congested bunch of trees. And when they're congested like that, yeah, I talk to myself and I talk to plants. It's okay. It's okay.
Sometimes they're the only ones who will listen.
True plant stories on YouTube. You're going to love it. Anyway, here we are. I just had to explain why I'm not crazy. So when you plant multiple plants in a pot, they compete with each other. They compete for light. They compete for nutrients. And you end up getting just a bunch of little junkers, little dwarf junkers. But when you plant one seed all by itself, then you let the plant naturally multi-trunk, you'll end up with some really substantially beautiful plants. And here's a great example right here. I was looking at this line of trees and I was like, well, this is a really good example of trees that were grown from probably one seed originally, and then they were allowed to multi-trunk. And, they're getting some nice substantial trunks in here. If you plant multiple plants in a pot, they'll never, ever get a big fat trunk. There's just too much competition. But isn't that wild? Look at that material that's built up on that. That gives it that beautiful color. But this is probably the best example I've ever seen of this palm with caliper of trunk. So check this out. This is the big daddy right here. Look at that. That's a big trunk. That's like 4 inches across. Crown shaft is about maybe 6 inches across. The head is especially large for this plant. It's probably 12 feet across. And so if you basically plant these things from a seed, and so they're not competing with multiple plants, you're going to get a much more vigorous plant, much bigger plant. If you're lucky, if you plant multiple seeds in a pot, you're going to get a bunch of these little weak little guys. And it's hard to say if this was one plant originally. But so there you go. This plant actually can grow in California, even though I'm in Maui right now. They never look this good. I don't think I've ever seen them this pretty in California. But they look okay, like down in LA and stuff. And in protected patios and stuff in Northern California. But it's going to want frost-free conditions. Dypsis lutescens. Lutescens kind of means like light, like the light that shines through, because it lights up. It's a golden cane palm. Look at the gold. And what's interesting too is it'll create this beautiful orange crown shaft. See that orange crown shaft right there? Look at that coloration. Really pretty. So the whole moral of the story, kids, is to make sure to plant these trees one seed per plant, and that way you're going to get something really substantial. You can trim out as many trunks as you want. The more trunks you trim out, the more vigorous all the other ones get. Makes for a fantastic privacy screen in the tropics. Makes for sort of a half okay screen in Southern California, and really, you know, really just a patio plant protected on your patio in Northern California. And that's pretty much all I have time for at the moment. I gotta catch up to my people. All right, just to follow up with that concept, look at this. These are big boys. Look at these big boys. I think we're talking 35 feet tall here in front of the hotel. Obviously been here a really long time, but look at the striking pattern of foliage up against the white stucco. Come on, look at that. Look at that. Who doesn't like that? Some people say, I don't like palm trees. So, no, you haven't met the right palm tree. Anyway, what a wonderful plant. No thorns, easy to grow, as long as the climate's good. And, you can cut them down, cut them all the way to the ground. If they get too tall, and they'll sprout up again and again. See the little babies? They're ready to take over. Their parents get cut down, they'll just take over. No problem. And that, my friends, is Dypsis lutescens, the golden cane palm from Madagascar.